Recording live from the Northeast Georgia Business RadioX studio, this is Northeast Georgia Business Radio presented by Regions Bank. Start building your financial confidence at Regions Bank. Member FDIC, an equal housing member. Welcome back, folks, to another exciting edition of Northeast Georgia Business Radio. I'm your host, Tom Sheldon, and we're coming to you live from the beautiful Empower College and Career Center of Jackson County. I have with me a really cool guest, somewhat of a jet setter, world traveler almost, I don't know. I have with me today from the International Stem Cell Institute, Kari Boatner. Kari, welcome to the Northeast studio.
Well, thank you so much for having me today.
How are you?
I am doing excellent. How are you?
I'm always good.
Amen. Me too.
I try anyway.
That's right.
Right? Not allowed to have a bad day.
Not at all.
You're a little bit of a jet setter.
I would say so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You do some traveling.
I do.
You went to the foreign country of Florida last week.
I did, yes.
Safely back, thank goodness.
Yes.
Glad you're in studio. You have a bit of a unique, I guess, profession, your line of work, because you are the patient care coordinator for the International Stem Cell Institute. I don't want to say you deal in stem cells, you deal in stem cell treatments. Is that the right way to say that? Am I dancing around it?
You could say that.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. Forgive me.
I think you're doing okay.
Am I doing okay?
I think you're all right.
Now it's time for you to talk because they're tired of hearing about me. Seriously, stem cell. We hear all the time, stem cell. Mm-hmm. What in the world? Help me out here.
Well, it is something that people hear, and it's become a little bit of a buzzword because, quite honestly, there's stem cells in apples.
True.
Right, but stem cells are not going to heal our body. So I'm a stem cell dealer, I guess you would say.
You deal in stem cell.
I do.
Is that like Bitcoin?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
It's a little bit, it's a little different.
We know what it is, but we don't know what it is. We can't really touch it, but we know, but it's still there.
Well, I'm hoping to clear some things up for you and your listeners today.
That is why you were here.
That's
yes.
right.
Perfect.
We repair, restore, and regenerate the human body using live mesenchymal stem cells.
Wow.
Yeah, say that 25 times fast.
No, I won't. No. What does that mean?
As we all age, I like to call it maturing, but as we age, our bodies suffer a lot of different things throughout our life, whether it's, injuries, it could be, chronic disease and illness, joint degeneration, whatever that looks like. And we need to regenerate our bodies. Otherwise, we're going to suffer. And unfortunately, in the United States, we are suffering needlessly. What we do at the International Stem Cell Institute is that we use these powerful, robust cells to heal the body so that we can actually cure things without having to get on medications that really have a myriad of negative side effects. But what we do is we use these cells, and these cells are magical. Honestly, they're miraculous, and they heal the body. So instead of a diabetic, let's say, just being on insulin for the rest of their lives, and even though insulin is a great product and it does help in situations, diabetics still can suffer a lot of adverse things throughout the course of their life. There is a higher morbidity rate. They, can have problems with vision, problems with circulation. What we can do is actually heal the pancreas, and we can cause the pancreas to start producing insulin all over again so that they don't need to continue to use insulin. Just as an example, that's just one of many. Hundreds.
I was going to ask you. You said chronic problems. Mm-hmm. How chronic are we talking about?
Well, chronic could be someone with congestive heart failure. That's pretty chronic.
That's pretty chronic, yeah.
Or someone who has Alzheimer's. That's pretty bad.
Really?
Not just for the patient, but for the entire family.
Oh yeah.
They lose a whole family member while they're still breathing.
Very cruel disease.
It's absolutely awful. But renal failure, joint degeneration. So instead of, let's say, a hip replacement surgery or instead of a knee replacement surgery, how about you just go get an injection? How about that?
A stem cell
injection. Stem cells. Hundreds of millions of them.
Stem cells are the basis of life?
Am
I simplifying that?
It's pretty good. That's a pretty good simplification
as
of it.
As an embryo becoming a human being?
So what we do, these particular cells, if you take an infant or a toddler and they fall down and they get hurt, what happens? They heal so fast.
Right.
Once we are born, I'm just going to tell you how it goes.
Please.
Once we're born and they cut the umbilical cord from us and our mother, we no longer get any more stem cells. Those cells are the cells that heal our body throughout the course of our life. So when a child falls and they've got young cells, right, they heal super fast. Someone like me who's in my whatever age group I'm in, my
We're
stem
on the
cells,
other side. Let's just leave it at that.
we are north of 50,
We are.
south
We
of
are.
60.
Painfully,
okay,
yes.
I like to say my stem cells are on crutches, quite honestly. So I don't heal as quickly. You hear about people, let's say someone who's maybe in their 80s and they fall and they break their hip.
Right.
What happens to them? We
It's
hear that
usually-
they go in the hospital and
usually
they
the end
die
of
of
it.
pneumonia.
Yeah, it's the end of it.
They
yeah.
die of pneumonia because their body no longer has any more cells to heal. So these are the life force for healing.
Oh, wow. That makes sense.
Yeah, they're powerful. It's nothing short of a miracle, to be very honest with you.
Okay, so you're not manufacturing these stem cells.
No,
you
we
don't.
are
You don't go down to the corner and pick them up.
No, not at all. What we do is we procure these cells, and they come from the umbilical cord of a live cesarean section birth.
Oh, wow.
The clinic that I represent, we work with a handful of physicians, and they follow the pregnancies. So these are OBGYNs. We do this outside of the U.S., of course. Once they have a woman who comes in who presents herself as pregnant, they will offer to them the opportunity to donate the umbilical cord. If they do, we actually follow the entire pregnancy. We do complete genetic testing on the mother and the father.
Oh, wow.
Even though there's no genetics that are passed on from those cells, we still do complete genetic testing just to make sure. Once that baby is born, and that's a cesarean section birth, we take those cells and that they come from the Wharton's jelly. It's a gelatinous material that surrounds the umbilical cord, and those cells come from that umbilical cord. There are other places where they can take stem cells from adipose tissue, which is fat cells. The problem with that is that fat cells are highly toxic. I mean,
Really?
On top of that, if you take fat cells, you're taking them from an adult, and those cells are pretty old. So they're not going to be as robust as the cells that just came from a live cesarean section birth.
That makes sense. And from the birth, there is nothing that impacts the mother or the child other than the birth itself
Correct.
by harvesting the stem cells.
That's right. And it's a completely donated, voluntarily donated tissue that would normally be discarded.
I was about to ask you, if you're not taking it, they're just throwing it in the waste pile.
That's right. That's right.
That's a shame.
It is awful. But thank goodness, where we go in Colombia, women and families are excited about donating that, because what they get
would
in
think they
return,
would be, yeah.
what they get in return, they don't get compensated financially for that. But if any member of their family at any time is in need of a treatment, they get a complimentary treatment.
Oh, wow. Well, that makes
It's big
sense.
value.
Yeah. I mean, that's more than a fair trade.
Much more.
You did mention outside of the U.S. Is that because of red tape?
That is red tape.
Are we going to go down a rabbit hole here?
If we did, we'd be here a while. But let's just suffice it to say
Do we
that
need to take the break first?
you should take a break. I need a breather.
Before Kari gets all cranked up here, folks, we're going to get into community partner real quick, and we will be right back. One of our great community partners is Infinity Wealth Management. Infinity Wealth Management is here to serve. Today's economic environment presents many challenges, but along with these challenges comes opportunities and potential rewards for those who can identify long-term trends. Whether you're facing retirement or looking to better understand certain investment ideas, Infinity Wealth Management can help you address your most pressing financial questions. Visit InfinityWMG.com for more information. That's InfinityWMG.com for more. While you're at it, visit our new website, negabrx.com, to see all our great community partners. Kari, you still there?
I am.
I didn't know if you'd run off to Columbia to help someone out. Hey, you might do that.
You never know.
You never know. You never know. What were we talking about? We were talking about stem cell treatments and the amazing results. We were talking a little bit off of mic, and you were sharing some things with me here. Just amazing. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm impressed at this point. I'm impressed in general, but at this point, the harvesting of the stem cells, it doesn't affect the mother or the child. And if someone isn't there harvesting them, they're just wasted.
That's right.
That just makes you scratch your head and say, what are we thinking, folks?
Right.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Now, the cells themselves, and I know we left off, we're going to start talking about the difference between inside, outside America, but now these stem cells, there's no prejudice. In other words, their patient's body does not reject them.
They don't. We call that immune privileged, which means that, like, even for you, we could take stem cells from a little baby girl from Cambodia, let's just say,
Sure,
and put them in you, and your body would not know the difference. Your body would not recognize them as foreign.
Cells.
That's
it's
right.
Stem cells.
It's a life force.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
It is beautiful.
That is. All right, let's get back to the pink elephant out on the 50-yard line. Treatment, stem cell treatment inside of the U.S. and outside the U.S. Can I say dramatically different? It's definitely different.
You can say dramatically.
Can I say dramatically?
Yeah, and one of the big reasons, or one of the big dramatic differences, is quantity of cells that are allowed to be used. So in the U.S., and you see different practices that do offer stem cell treatments, the challenge is that they're going to be using around 3 million cells. And now for you and I, that sounds like a lot of cells.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is they're frozen, number one, which ours are too. But once you thaw 3 million cells, you're going to have about 1 million of them that are still good. And I kind of jokingly say that 1 million cells wouldn't fix an ingrown toenail.
Oh, wow.
Right? What we do, we use hundreds of millions of cells.
Oh, wow.
So we treated an Alzheimer's patient recently, just 3 weeks ago, and we used over 200 million stem cells directly to her brain.
Wow.
We used another 150 million stem cells in an IV. So the quantity of cells is dramatically different, and it's just because of regulations in the United States.
I don't want to get into regulation, but is there reasoning behind that?
No.
It's just a number.
Well,
Pick a number and go with it?
It's a number. And, without going down a rabbit hole,
Right.
There are powers that be. The physician that I work with wants to absolutely cure these diseases and rid the body of the disease entirely. So when he approaches a patient with chronic disease, his mentality is, how many cells do I need to flood this body with to completely reverse what is currently happening? Because we don't want to have them come back.
Exactly.
He has a one and done mentality.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, if somebody comes to us and they've been an MS patient for 7-10 years, whatever, and they're in a scooter, they may have to get treated again. But we're going to do as much as we possibly can to try to flood the body with those cells to heal it.
I always try to do research before a show, right? Mm-hmm. Stem cells are available from abortions. Is that correct?
There has been history of that.
So
now,
it has happened. I read that.
No, it most definitely has happened. It's supposed to be a universal, worldwide decision that no longer happens.
Okay, cool.
However, there's always going to be those people.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, the process that you're involved with does not do that.
Absolutely not.
It is from the live birth.
It is from a live, and the reports that each patient is given once they are treated, it includes all of the genetic testing that were done and all the results of those tests.
Yeah.
It also even tells each patient that those cells came from the mother that was 26, the dad was 28, and it was a little baby girl or a little baby boy,
Right.
and the date of birth. When the doctors are following the pregnancy, if anything happens in the course of that pregnancy that is less than perfect, we do not take those cells.
Now, the work you're involved with is done in Columbia.
Yes, it is.
Now, you work with one doctor, a group.
Well,
One
I
doctor.
work with a primary physician.
Okay.
He's not a primary care physician, but I work with one doctor.
Okay.
And when we have different cases, he calls in other doctors to also participate. So
gotcha.
when we treat an Alzheimer's patient, he calls in a neurologist to come in as well to participate in that procedure. Or if we're dealing with, spinal issues, we do spine injections. And so
Really?
Absolutely. So if we're dealing with that, he may sometimes call in an orthopedist to be a part of that procedure. Sometimes we need an anesthesiologist, depending on the procedure. My doctor specializes in highly complex procedures, and why that's important is because if you need somebody to do a treatment on you, you're going to want someone who is advanced and knowledgeable about the most extreme cases, because then the simple cases, like a knee injection, a hip injections, shoulders, things like that, doing an IV, like for autoimmune, There's over 100 autoimmune diseases, and we treat every single one of them with a simple IV.
How about that?
Yeah.
When these stem cells get into the body, they go look for a problem.
They do.
I've heard you say that before. They look for a problem.
They do.
What do we need fixed? What do we need to fix?
Yeah, they do. At the moment they get into we use the words undifferentiated, which means once they get into the body, they don't have an assignment, or before they get into the body, they don't have an assignment. But the moment they enter the body, they go, oh my goodness, look, we need beta cells to start working in the pancreas so that we can make insulin. Or they say, oh my goodness, we need to deal with this inflammation. Or, they find the problem. We need to produce cartilage. We need to heal these tendons. And they just go and they make things happen.
How about that?
Yeah.
So they're overachievers, basically.
They are. They are.
That's an easy way to put it.
I'll tell you, interestingly,
yes.
I have a video of my doctor squirting the stem cells into the IV bag of a patient that was getting, it done systemically. And those cells, they stick together and you can see them dancing around inside the bag.
Oh, wow.
It's miraculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to Columbia with you.
Yes, you are.
I want to see this. That'll be fun.
It's beautiful.
We'll do a live remote. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. All right, I got to ask you. Let's say I have a condition. I have something. Some would say I got a lot wrong with me, but we won't go down that path. No, seriously. I have a condition. I need help.
Right.
What do I do?
So,
Help.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the neat thing is we do have a very defined process that we take in order to help a patient. We start off with doing an exploratory call with me. I generally do everything on Zoom because I just really like to connect with people. We do an exploratory call where I ask a lot of questions, and the purpose of that call is for me to find out what kind of reports do I need from what physicians you have seen in the past so that we can present a great package, a comprehensive package to my doctor to review prior to a consultation with him. So we do that. That's generally about 45 minutes worth of talking and exploring. From there, I provide the patient with medical intake paperwork, HIPAA forms, and a list of the different reports that I need from their attending physicians.
Their history.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Yeah. And we also get complete all the medications and supplements and things like that. From there, my doctor reviews imaging, reports, things like that for about 48 hours. And then I can get them on a Zoom consultation with the patient, the physician, and myself. I'm there to facilitate the call, to ask questions that maybe the patient forgot to ask the doctor, or to bring up concerns that the patient had that they forgot to ask. And I memorialize the entire conversation. From there, it takes my doctor about 48 hours to produce a proposed treatment plan for them, to let them know how many stem cells he believes will be necessary, to tell them, if they're going to be getting exosomes also, just what the whole process is going to look like and what they can expect for a fee. The great thing about that is that entire process, the exploratory call and the consultation, it costs the patient absolutely nothing to find out what is possible for them.
Wow, nothing.
Nothing. I actually tell my patients it does cost a little bit of something. It costs a little bit of time and a little bit of hope, because oftentimes patients are coming to us and they are hopeless. They've been to 15 doctors and nobody knows what's wrong or nobody can fix it.
They're at the end.
Yeah. And hopefully they come to us before they're at the end, because the further down you go in the path of degeneration, the harder it is and the longer it takes to get back to where you want to be living a robust life.
So is that when someone needs to start looking at one of these treatments, is when the hope is dwindling and current doctors are throwing up their hands or saying, we don't know, we can't? Is that when?
That can be when. We hope that it's not when.
Right.
Most patients know if they're a diabetic that the only answer for them is insulin for the rest of their life.
True.
Most patients know that if they have suffered a heart attack, or they have some type of thing going on with their kidney, or they have genetic Alzheimer's in their family,
Gotcha.
They know that they're going to be going in a particular direction that is not promising.
I gotcha.
So we hope that we can start helping patients then. Our recent Alzheimer's patient had only just forgotten where her husband's office was. Luckily for her and her family, we've treated her early.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't want to wait till patients are at that place where things are awful. But we do want patients to, if someone says, look, your only option is a knee replacement. And we hope that people don't even get cortisone injections, because that actually deteriorates your bones and things even faster. So we're hoping that we can reach people sooner than later.
I'm with you. Literally, how do folks get a hold of you? We got a website.
We do have a website. The website is theisci.com. And my email address is Kari@theisci.com. So they can simply send me an email and we will begin the process of exploring what's possible for them.
Nice. Well, Kari, that wasn't hard at all, was it?
No, it was easy and painless.
We could sit and talk about this for like hours.
Hours.
I know.
It's remarkable.
It's very cool. Mm-hmm. I want a episode where you just tell stories about your patients.
That would be great.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I have patients that are now doing phone calls with prospective patients. Like today, like at 12:30, actually I have a surgeon who's actually talking to whose wife had Alzheimer's.
Oh, wow.
The surgeon had his pancreas treated. He had uncontrolled diabetes. His wife was the Alzheimer's patient, and he's actually on the phone right now with another man whose wife has Alzheimer's.
You said she had Alzheimer's.
That's right, I did.
Past tense.
That's right.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
I know.
Kari, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're always welcome here. You know that. They're going to play my music, and then I got to wrap up. You have a saying, don't you?
I do. We add years to your life and life to your years.
Very cool. Kari, thank you so much. Folks, thetheisci.com. Check out what they're doing with stem cells. I'm Tom Sheldon. We'll talk to you soon.
Savings goals keeping you up at night? Let a Regions banker help you build a Regions Greenprint plan, a free financial roadmap personalized for what matters to you. Start building your financial confidence. Visit Regions.com to find a branch near you. Regions Bank, member FDIC.